No, no, I'll run through right now. Is it recording?
Perfect.
That was because of jazz hands right now.
Perfect entrance. Perfect.
Welcome to On the Go with Joe. I'm Joe Scianablo, United States Marine combat veteran, retired New York City police officer, and former prosecutor from the Queens District Attorney's Office. But I'm also running to be the next supervisor of the Town of Hempstead. And on today's show, we're honored to have a local veteran-owned business. Mike Cannamela is going to be on our show today. He owns Yard Smart, which is a landscaping company here within Nassau County. He is also a veteran from the Coast Guard, and he's going to share some of his favorite stories from his time in service, as well as his journey in opening up a service-connected veteran-owned business. So let's get to it. And welcome back to On the Go with Joe. We're here with Mike Cannamela. Thank you so much for being here and taking your time out of your busy schedule, because it is springtime, right?
Yeah.
And you have please just give your business a shout out.
I own Yard Smart Lawn Care. We work primarily in Eastern Nassau, and we do landscape maintenance, landscape design.
As Mike knows, and Mike and I were talking before the show, I'm a Marine Corps veteran. He was in the Coast Guard. Look, we have these playful banters back and forth as veterans, and we like to kind of have fun with the different branches. But if anybody outside of the military tries to beat up on any of the branches, you could guarantee that we will unite and ensure that you do not.
Front.
Yeah, it's definitely a unified front. So we could do that. You might want to refrain from doing that if you haven't served. Fair enough?
Yeah.
But just to get right into it, you were in the Coast Guard.
I was.
When did you serve, and in what capacity? Like, what did you do in the Coast Guard?
I went in right after high school, and I went through boot camp. And then I got sent to Fort Macon, North Carolina, just outside of Camp Cherry Point. And it was primarily search and rescue there, which was really cool because it was the last Marine Corps search and rescue unit in the Marine Corps. So we did a lot of work with them.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it was called Pedro. And they were awesome.
Oh.
Their rescue swimmers were great. They did their job. I remember one time he got lowered into our mast, and he broke it had to be 3 or 4 ribs, and the dude just kept going.
In training.
Yeah.
This is a Marine?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He just kept going.
we're a little nuts sometimes.
Yeah, it was good.
But that's the thing. Like Coast Guard, people don't think. I'm gonna let that go. People don't think and realize you do real world stuff right away. So you said search and rescue.
Yes.
What kind of training was involved in that? Like, what do you have to do to become a search and rescue swimmer or in that unit?
So a search and rescue swimmer is a whole nother entity. It's nothing that we do.
Okay.
Actually, I have a friend in the Suffolk County PD who was a rescue swimmer, and he's piloting a program for them.
Oh,
which is really
wow.
cool. Yeah.
That is cool.
But so basically, when you report into a unit, you'll get this big binder, and there are all these qualifications that you have to get. Anchor a boat, man overboard drills, fires, all sorts of things. And then you also have to know the terminology. And once you have that, then once it's all signed off, you sit down for an oral board. So you'll have 3 people who are qualified, and they drill you with questions, scenarios, specifics, just everything.
It's safe to say not everybody makes it through the program.
No. Eventually you'll get there.
You eventually get there.
Like I failed the board numerous times.
Okay.
I don't present well in front of people. It's not my thing. Yeah.
And I appreciate you sharing that with me too, by the way, Mike.
And then they do a hands-on portion.
Okay.
And you'll do a bunch of drills, and if you pass, you become a crewman.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you hit, normally it's E4, but a couple E3s will get it. You start working on becoming a coxswain, so a boat driver.
Okay.
And that's a little bit more intense. It takes a long time to get it, and it's the same thing. You'll sit down for a board.
Yeah.
You have to get all those qualifications done. 2015.
So it's changed a lot since you were in
It's very different,
right?
Yeah.
Because we were talking, and I'm going to throw this in, one of my friends, and I showed you a GPS system that we used when we were in Iraq, which was this big brick with a little tiny satellite antenna, is now in the Marine Corps Museum.
It's in a museum.
That was used from 1993 to 2004, and I felt old, and I shared that with Mike before we got on the show. Is there anything you did outside of the Coast Guard that helped you prepare for being in a rescue unit?
So my biological dad was a paramedic, and I used to go with him once a week and volunteer.
Did you rock climb before?
I
you
did
joined?
rock climb. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it definitely helped me with in shape.
Yeah.
I went
Yeah.
I went to all the recruiters, and I remember walking out of the Navy recruiter, and the Marine Corps stopped me, and they were like, "Oh, you're probably here for the Navy." And I was like, "I am," and he was like, "You look like it."
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh, all right. Well, how many pull-ups can you do?" He's like, 10. I'm like, all right. So I run over there. I'm a rock climber. I bang out 10. I get up. I take one hand off. I shake it out. Scratch my head. Put it back on. Pump out another 10. And he comes down. He's like, "Hey, let me tell you a little bit about it." And I'm like, no. I was with my dad. My dad's a former Marine. So he was like, no.
Yeah.
But
All
it was funny. When I went through boot camp, the physical part was difficult. It was definitely difficult. It seems to me like in this day and age, it's substantially harder.
Yeah.
So everyone goes, "Oh, back then it was harder." No, what those kids are going through now is hard.
No, that's what I hear too. Like
Yeah.
even in the Marine Corps, there's so much more gear and so much more technology involved with the physicality of the job as well.
Yes.
So not only are our warfighters in incredible shape, but I truly believe they're smarter than we ever
Yeah.
were because of the technology that they have to deal with, which is
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
So just a shout out to all those real quick that are serving domestically and abroad. We all hope for your safe return. And we just, everybody should be making sure that we support our veterans, no matter what side of the aisle you may be on. We all just need to support each other and our veterans at this time.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give that shout. But we were talking about a specific training. Well, and
Yeah.
one of your experiences.
So at my next unit, which was just outside of New York City on on the Kings Point campus, there's a small Coast Guard station there.
Mhm.
And they do search and rescue, but their primary thing is ATFP, anti-terrorism force protection.
Mhm.
So they go on very routine patrols regularly, numerous times a day, and check critical infrastructure in the city. Now, with that being said, the Coast Guard is also a law enforcement agency.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because they're the only branch of the military that can enforce laws on civilians as well as military.
Wow, I
There's
did
no
not
one
know
else
that.
that can do
Yeah,
that.
I did not know that.
So you have two levels. You have a boarding officer, which is like the higher echelon of law
Mhm.
enforcement, and then you have a boarding team member who goes through a much more basic training, but they work under the federal authority of the
Yeah.
boarding officer. And so one of the things you have to do is you have to be pepper sprayed.
Yeah.
Most police departments and stuff, if you carry a taser, you have to get tased.
Yeah.
If you carry pepper spray, you have to get pepper
And I'm
sprayed.
smiling as you say that because I remember that, and you have a little smile and a nod
It's like
on
the
your
worst.
face while we're explaining it. Because not only are you getting pepper sprayed, what else do you have to do?
You have to retain your weapon and fight off two attackers.
Yeah.
So, and and just until you have control of the situation, you're just sitting there, holding your eye open,
Yeah.
swinging elbows.
Yeah. It's a
So,
lot of fun. It sounds.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun talking about it.
Maybe not when it was going on.
Yeah, and we did it like right in the middle of the summer. So like the way OC works is it crystallizes,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
So it crystallizes in your pores. So, you shower, you wash it out, but let's say later on you're driving home from work
And you
and
sweat.
it's 100 degrees out and you're driving a Jeep Wrangler with no heat.
Yeah.
You start sweating, it's called a reflash. So I'm like driving on the LIE and I'm like, oh, this is terrible. This is terrible.
I'm thinking, oh man, those are the good old days.
Yeah.
And just real quick, like, I mean, after Coast Guard boot camp, like, you guys are pretty much operational ready, right? Like, or
well,
after your
you have to
training.
get those qualifications, but you're on the job while you're doing it.
Yeah.
I went to small boat stations, so like every 50 miles along the coast, there's a small boat station. If you go out onto like a cutter, it's much more,
Yeah.
especially, let's say you report to your unit and they're deploying for 3 months, you're going to be on the chip and you're going to be working. So,
Wow. All right.
and, you're going to be line handling, you're going to be doing certain things right away.
And lastly, maybe, is there any experience or like operation or mission that you did that you okay with sharing, or just highlights kind of some of your experiences before we transition into how everything was getting out of the Coast Guard and coming back? And
I mean, I had a lot of great experiences. As much as I didn't like being stationed down south, I did get to see how a good portion of this country lives,
Mm-hmm.
and that was pretty cool. The law enforcement side was fun. I guess right as I was about to get out the first time, because I was in 3 different times.
I'm the same way. I have 3 different DD-214s.
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
I got recalled while I was in IRR status, which was absurd.
So let me I want to just put a pin in it. I want you to explain it. So the DD-214 is a discharge paperwork, and IRR status is individual ready reserve status, which is kind of a limbo. You're not in the reserves, and you're not really quite out yet. They could still,
Call you back.
they could still call you back if there's a need. Yeah.
And it never happens. They did it
Very
a
rare.
little bit in the beginning of the Iraq
Yeah.
Invasion in Iraq, but then you didn't hear about it. And 2015, I was out. My phone buzzed. It was a Facebook message, and it was from my NCO, and he was like, "BM3, you got to come in this weekend. You've been recalled." And I'm like, "Really?"
So I didn't know we had that much in common, to be honest with you. So you have 3 DD-214s?
No, I only have 2. The
2,
third one,
okay.
I was there. I don't know what they did with it.
Oh,
but
I'm still missing paperwork and medals. And
Did you have to do the anthrax vaccination?
Oh yeah.
Did they keep track of it?
So, funny story. So, I had them in the 90s until 2000. They lost my records in 2002 when I was deployed to Camp Lejeune, and I had to get the series of anthrax all over again.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the same with you.
I don't know if they even kept records of it. It seemed like every week they were coming in and they were like, "Oh, you due for your anthrax?" And I'm like, "Dude, you were just here last week." No, I don't have any record of it.
Well, and just a shout out to 225. Sorry, we got our smallpox vaccination right before we crossed like the LOD line of departure into Iraq. So we're all like,
that must have been terrible.
Oh my goodness, we're all like,
it's also gross.
It's yeah. Well, it's definitely it definitely pussed off and scabby, but we were all sick.
Yeah.
We all had like fevers.
Yeah.
And it was really
it's a live vaccine.
It's a live vaccine. So anthrax.
And
I don't even know.
Anthrax was a shot.
Just a shot.
But the smallpox vaccine, they didn't give it.
We're
to
not
you in boot
doctors,
camp?
by the way.
Yeah,
so.
no, they didn't give it to you in boot camp.
The smallpox?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so I guess after 9/11 they started doing it in boot camp.
Okay.
And so everybody's super sick in boot camp, and they have the big. It swells up. It's full of pus. It's really gross.
I don't know. I remember getting the penicillin shot. Sorry, we're going way off, but like getting that like little softball-sized shot of penicillin in your butt, and then everybody's got to sit on the ground like this and just rock back and forth until you could just work your way through. I don't know if you guys have
No, I don't think so. You just stay in a line and a bunch of people just
yeah.
But the smallpox is a needle, and they don't give it. It's not like a standard vaccine in America, but everywhere else in the world it is. So
So you served 3 separate times, and now you get out of the Coast Guard, and clearly, you have had experiences that most people haven't, especially within our community, because you served and now you're a veteran, and you currently own and operate YardSmart.
Yeah.
Talk about your transition. Like after you got out of the Coast Guard, what was your path towards opening up a small business, and kind of what hurdles did you have in your way?
I was in school out west. I moved back to Long Island, and I was working with my stepdad. He was a landscaper.
Mm.
And I was going to school. I was finishing up my bachelor's. End of my junior year, beginning of my senior year, I had just come back from Guantanamo Bay. I was there for 8 months. I was, I have a degree in Middle Eastern Studies, so I wanted to work in like the State Department or intelligence, whatever. I wanted to do something like that.
Yeah.
And I had just started dating my now wife, and she said, "Yeah, you're not going to do that. You're going to go start a landscaping business."
Good for her.
She goes, "All these older guys are retiring. It's going to be an open market." And I was like, "Okay."
She was
went
right.
Went to the military, went to college, so that I didn't have to cut grass, and now I cut grass.
Middle Eastern studies.
Yeah.
But Cuba. So we didn't get into this. What did you do in Gitmo?
So after I got out of active duty, I went into the reserves because I wanted to be in a port security unit when I first signed up.
Yeah.
And the recruiter didn't tell me that that's a reserve-only billet, except for like 2 people, and you have to be an E6 to get that. And I wasn't making E6 in my first in 4 years.
Yeah.
So I was able to get in at a port security unit out of Cape Cod. Now, the port security unit is a fully self-sustainable expeditionary combat unit that the Coast Guard has. There's
Wow.
only a couple of them, and a lot of the guys there had you know been to Iraq. A couple of them in Afghanistan, Northern Africa. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been all over. I think there was even one guy there that was there for the first Desert Storm.
Wow.
Yeah, like, and it's a small community, so they stay there. But so I reported into that unit, and they were deployed down in Guantanamo. So there's always one PSU down there doing maritime security for the detention centers, because the detention centers are right on the water. So like, you have the Coast Guard on the ocean, and then there's an Army unit that's on the beach protecting them, and then you have the Marines on the wire for the original Guantanamo base. And so I was down there, and I got qualified as a crewman down there in a couple days. They sent me down there for my 2 weeks, and I ended up getting qualified. And I, like, in a reserve unit, it could take a year or two to get qualified. Where active duty, it's 3 months. So, but because I was qualified at a previous unit, I ran right through it. I learned the boat. It was a different boat, and they asked me if I wanted to stay. And I said, well, I've played this game before. If I say no, you're gonna make me stay. So let's just go with it. And I stayed.
All right.
So
what was the most memorable experience you had while you were in Cuba?
Guantanamo, there is a bar on base, and I was down there for St. Patty's, and the reserve unit is all from Boston. I was like one of 2 New Yorkers in the unit, so that was a fun night. I'm not really a drinker, but it was fun.
There you go. St. Patrick's Day is fun no matter what, wherever you are in the
wherever you are.
globe. It's a fun time. And everybody is Irish on St. Patrick's Day. That's fair to say.
Yeah.
All right, so you get out, yard smart.
Yeah, I started the business. I had one guy help me, and then another one of my friends that I grew up with, left the job that he was at, and he came and worked with me for the first year, and then I just worked on building it up.
Yeah.
I was young in an industry where people weren't using technology, so I used like Home Advisor and the mom and dad's groups I did really well with.
Oh, awesome. Transitioning and getting out and opening up a business, was there how did your status as a veteran help you, or?
Well, I was going to school, and I was on the post 9/11 GI Bill.
Okay.
So I was getting, tax-free money every month, which was nice. It helped alleviate the problem, and any financial burdens. But honestly, just your ability to deal with things.
Deal with things.
Yeah. Being 20 years old and driving a boat, and like being responsible for search and rescue cases or whatever it may be, and then mowing lawns. It's
Yeah, and you probably dealing with clients and dealing with people
honestly, everyone was very supportive.
And I will say this just to highlight him, because I will say, and I don't care about the pushback, a veteran will work very hard. I don't want to say harder than anybody else, but that you're getting somebody that is going to give you top-notch service.
Yeah, or at least try.
Or at least try.
Or at least try.
And give 100%.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah.
So you have a business here in Nassau County and in the town of Hempstead. What was any unexpected hurdles that you've come across or that you've experienced during this journey? Because you've been in business for how long now?
This is year 10.
Year 10. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a decade in business. What kind of hurdles or obstacles have you experienced here in the county and the town during these 10 years?
I did try to put in my first bid with the town.
Okay.
And that was interesting.
How so?
Well, I put in a bid, and I was beaten by a very specific amount that seemed like an anomaly. I don't know. It just.
Full disclosure, I was at that town board meeting. It's kind of how we met. I heard you were a veteran up there, and whenever I hear any veterans anywhere, I perk up oh man, I want to always help support veteran-owned businesses and just veterans in general if they need help or services. But you did refer to it as a statistical anomaly.
Yeah. So the town of Hempstead has, all right, so let's say you have 2 companies. One of them is a service-disabled veteran-owned business, which is what we are, and one of them's not. there's a margin on the price that I can be over somebody else.
By how
And
much do you know?
7.5%.
7.5%.
And the next bidder, who I actually met last week, and
Okay.
he's super nice, and
Yeah.
he like pulled me aside. He's like, "I'm gonna help you learn how to put this in." He didn't know who I was,
Yeah.
but I told him I'm new to this. You know, I'd like to get into it.
Okay.
You know, I have 3 kids at home. It would be nice to have something that's very, very consistent. You know, the number just came in at like 7.6 something, and I was like, that's a very
And just for the record, I don't know if you knew this, but there was another resident that got up. I forget her name that actually referenced that business.
yeah, and they've been around for 3 generations. Even in my neighborhood where I grew up, they planted all the trees.
Okay.
His grandfather planted all the trees.
Okay.
It's a legitimate company.
Yeah, and
They
they've
are.
had numerous contracts with the
Yeah,
town
they're
in the
very
past.
experienced.
But
And
but when you asked your question to the town, you
well,
know,
that's
like,
my issue. The town attorney was not nice, and it was like very, very clear that I was uncomfortable being there.
yeah,
And even if I am countering you, you're the town attorney. Have some
Yeah.
decorum. Don't be aggressive. Just be a professional.
and I'm gonna be honest with you, like subjectively, and I'm glad you shared that. Especially as a veteran, the way that I saw him talk to you bothered me, right? And I'm glad that you brought that up because I didn't want to just, you know, inject my own feelings into it. But you're a veteran and a service,
Right.
yeah, but still, like, you know, it's you don't treat anybody that way.
Yeah, that's just not how you're supposed to talk to people.
No, I hear
Like,
you. It's all on, and the thing is, like, we're talking about it now, and we're gonna move on, but it's all on public record. You could see it on YouTube. So if anybody needs to know what we're talking about, it's all in the archives.
yeah,
it is
and I
public
was a
record.
little jumbled because I missed an entire line, so he misunderstood what I was saying.
Mhm.
But he knew this is his job. He knew. What
Let
I
me
was
ask you this: is it easy for you to get up there and do what you did?
No, I hate public speaking.
Okay, but you felt so
I
strongly.
don't like being.
Yeah.
There.
And there's
2 people
just
here.
I know. And to the 2 people you can't see, thank you guys very much. They're why this is possible. Look, 10 years in business, who or what experiences have helped shape you in who you are and what you've built?
I have a core group of employees. They're great. They give me 110% every day.
You built a team.
Yeah, I have a solid team.
Yeah.
I have
And
a solid team.
you were kind of bragging about them the few
Yeah,
conversations that
they're-
we've had. So it seems like you're very proud of like
Yes.
what you've built,
Like,
which is great.
I have one guy, Javi. He's been with me since the first day. We hire people. We do this. Like, people come in and I'm like, talk to Javi. I don't want to.
Yeah, you trust them
This
that
is his
much.
job.
Yeah.
Like the military structure.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the CO, so I'm out there. I'm nice. Hey, you know. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's my XO, so he goes out and he's like, you gotta do this better. You gotta do that better. No, we're not gonna do that way.
Yeah.
And he handles it. My family, my wife, everyone's been very supportive, and it hasn't been easy on them. Last night I got home at 9:30. The night before, 10. You know, the spring season's busy.
That's the thing. Yard smart and spring season. What does that mean? Like the spring is here.
It means I get into the office at 4:30 in the morning, and I leave at like between 9 and 12 at night.
Wow.
I do drawings, emails. Right now, my office manager just went on maternity leave. So we're training someone new. I have an answering service, answering the phones.
Just so people know what you're doing. When you say you do drawings, what does that mean? Like you
Just
could
like,
help landscape.
yeah,
like...
let's say you want to do your front lawn. I come over, I take a picture, I edit out the bushes that are there, and I put in a design.
All right.
So, and that is my favorite part of this business. I love
Really?
it. Yeah.
So yeah. So also very important for people that are watching. What are all the services that you provide? So you help with the landscaping. You can help design.
Yeah, landscape design, installation, spring cleanups, fall cleanups, shrub trimming, you know, mowing the lawn, all that stuff.
If somebody wanted to get a hold of you and try to look into your services, what's the best way they could get?
516-476-5851.
Yardsmartli.com. I want to help support every veteran-owned business. I think there is a certain level of leadership and a certain level of work ethic that comes with like your experience and the team that you've built from what you've shared with me, honestly. So please look into YardSmart. I know I will be, and I appreciate your time on the show, but there's one last question that I want to ask you, and it's important.
Pizza time.
Favorite pizzeria?
La Piazza.
Pizza time.
La Piazza. La
I'm
Piazza.
going there after this.
Are you going there right after this? All right. It's La Piazza. I think, like, I don't even know if I need to say mine, but I haven't shared it with you. And
Yeah, what
I
is it?
share. It's Dario's on Nassau Boulevard in West Hempstead.
Okay. Okay.
It's Dario's Pizzeria. So
Alright, there you go.
they're not paying me to say this, nor are they endorsing me. It's truly objective. Like, they have my favorite slice
Yeah,
at
hey,
Dario's. So
that's
I
all
will
La Piazza.
La Piazza. I will be trying La Piazza. And you, I hope you don't mind me sharing this. La Piazza is the reason why you
Go on Weight Watchers
Every-
every winter.
every winter. So it's got to be good, right? Dude, I appreciate your time. man.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you once again for Mike Cannamela coming on the show. Thank you so much for your service to this country. And thank you for continuing to serve Nassau County and the town of Hempstead with Yard Smart. Please look into him and reach out to him. And don't forget, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, you could ring Joe at 484-RING-JOE. That's 484-746-4563. Also, thank you for watching our spring break episode. We're going to really be ramping it up now that spring break is over, and we look forward to continuing to hear from you. So please stay tuned to our upcoming episode. We're going to be announcing on social media on our next guest coming up. So please stay tuned. Semper Fi. Forget the other guy.